Hello and welcome to Rant Zerker number 16. Satirist McCaskill strikes again. As always, I'm with my compadre, battle buddy, Karen Strawn.
Partner in crime.
Yes, indeed. And we are going to be reviewing two videos today. One is of the Missouri protest, and the other one is Senator McCaskill, satirist Senator McCaskill's response to the protest. Now, in our previous episode of Rant Zerker, we actually went over one of Senator McCaskill's latest satire effort, which was aired on Stephen Colbert. And we were informed by multiple people in the comments that no, she's not actually an authoritarian who advocates censorship of particular groups. So we have to conclude from that this new segment on MSBNC, did I say that right?
MSNBC.
MSNBC, whatever, I did, Mr. fucking, anyway, that she is also satirizing. She's also satirizing the idea that anybody could consider a feminist to be an authoritarian or be interested in authoritarianism. So there you go.
Well, I think her support for certain federal bills right now regarding yes means yes and affirmative consent and all of that, I think
are also satire.
Yeah, they must be, because otherwise she would be wanting to dictate how adults conduct their sex lives. So, wow. Yeah.
Obviously, the satirist has quite a repertoire of satire.
Maybe she's a Poe.
Yeah. Well, no. She can't be a Poe because we've been clearly informed that she is indeed a satirist.
Well, so, I will say that piece from the Colbert show, the Stephen Colbert show, was probably meant to be really over the top, but it likely expressed a lot of her actual views, like men not being allowed to have an opinion on abortion and things like that. I'm sure that she really feels that way. So,
okay, Karen, I don't know what I'm hearing here. So you're telling me that she actually created a piece of satire, said her actual no. Let me finish, because I'm astounded at what you're saying. She created a piece of satire, said her actual views, and then turned around, and when anyone pointed out that she was actually sincere, she said, "You're a humorless fucktard that doesn't get satire." Boy, that's an easy get out of jail card free if you're right.
Well, I mean, I would describe what she was doing as hyperbole that was written for her, probably by the writers at the Stephen Colbert show. But she's overstating her positions. She's not taking the opposite position to the one that she would normally take, to make it ironic and make it satire. It's not like the sort of the Jonathan Swift let's eat Irish babies, or the Irish can eat their babies.
That's nonsense. He really did believe Irish babies were delicious.
Okay, maybe he just thought that some Irish babies would be delicious, and that he went a little, he was hyperbolic, but I mean, it was a good idea.
Yeah, well, so I mean, it's a good idea to actually tell men to shut up in some instances, but not every instance. Occasional Irish baby eating is fine, but don't make a habit of it. Maybe just like have an Irish baby for like Christmas dinner.
Yes,
but not every dinner.
Yeah,
no. Yeah, and if you point out that Irish baby eating is, or that Jonathan Swift actually advocates Irish baby eating, obviously you're a humorless fucktard that doesn't get the satire.
There you go. So I think like it was really weird. I mean, like Stephen Colbert and his persona as the right-wing pundit, that was not necessarily satire either. It was just exaggeration and hyperbole and kind of lampooning. You exaggerate it's sort of reductio ad absurdum. You take the belief to an absurd level and express it in the most hyperbolic way so that people will, laugh at it. and think it's funny. Oh, you know, conservatives really believe this shit. You know, they just don't say it as obviously as that, right? So I think that that maybe lends itself to the fact that she really does think these ways, in many cases, and she's just overstating it to make it funny or something.
Well, she's overstated. Well, it seems like it's possible that if she genuinely believes that men should shut up on certain topics, which is really what we're getting at,
Yeah.
then by overstating it and calling it all satire, she can basically hide her true belief that men should shut up on certain topics. So, and then anybody who says, well, feminists want to shut men up, she can point to that satire and say, oh, you just don't get it. It's just satire.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't care if you want men to shut up on the topic of Star Wars. You know, some people should maybe shut up on the topic of Star Wars. I don't know.
Oh,
maybe. Yeah, I know. But but the idea that you put in actual beliefs in among the hyperbole and then call it all satire, no. You don't get to do that.
Yeah.
If you only advocate for eating Irish babies on Christmas, you don't get to then say, oh well, no, I'm satirizing the idea of eating Irish babies entire. No, you're not. You're actually advancing a belief that you actually have.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
We were going to first look at the footage from the Concerned Student 1950 from the University of Missouri, where the young student reporter is trying to get pictures and coming up against some opposition. Just
a little bit of opposition.
A little bit of objection to that, but
now remember, we have to avoid a DMCA complaint, so we do need to stop it every 20 seconds.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start screen sharing. Entire screen share.
Alrighty then.
All right.
Okay, let's do this thing that we were doing.
All right, we don't want to see 5 more minutes of this video because
5 minutes is adequate.
Well, how did it get all the way there?
Okay.
Ready?
With the media, you gotta back up behind those signs. That's what those signs say. I am a student.
All right, we gotta.
The signs say no media. So what? It's a public place.
Yeah, actually, technically, you. Although it's really fascinating to see that they've set up. This is their own little dominion that they've created. This is their fiefdom now.
Yeah.
And these are the rules that they've set up. No media. Just sort of like North Korea. There's like a little bit of North Korea right there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like it's right there in public on university property, but in a public space, publicly accessible space. And so essentially, what they're saying is that, you know, this is we claim ownership of this spot, and this is now our private property. Get out.
Okay, somebody in the chat has informed us that this is free to use, so we can use as much as we want of it. So let's go forward, and yeah, whenever we think that there's something to comment on.
Okay.
These students are walking forward. This is the rest.
Okay, I already have something to comment on. Respect their space. This is public property.
Yeah.
This is not your space. Just because you have a goddamn mob occupying it. All right, continue.
Yeah, no, I mean, maybe she means personal space, but they're the ones crowded around him. He's not invading any of their personal space. You know, he's just trying to get to a place where he's not standing amidst a crowd of them so he can shoot a picture. So.
They're pushing me. They'll talk to you. All right, don't push me. Yo. I'm not pushing them. Okay, well then we will just block you.
That woman, you need to step back. That's that stupid woman who apparently is still teaching at that university. she's got a very recognizable voice.
Yeah, it's just I'm astounded that you realize that you're preventing someone from freely moving on a public space. I believe that's illegal, and touching him in the process.
Yeah, no, it's illegal restraint.
Yeah, it's illegal restraint what you're doing. So you are actually engaging in criminal activity on public property.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're going to have a lot of that.
Oh yeah.
You need to go.
Yep.
Students, can you tell him how
You don't have a right to take our photos.
Actually, he does on public property.
Yeah, he has a right to take your photo anywhere that's a public space, except for a public bathroom, right? You don't have an expectation of privacy here. You're out in plain view. Anybody can see you. Like, anybody has a right to take a picture of you.
Yeah, you have no reasonable expectation of privacy in the middle of a public grounds.
It's not even like that he's special because he's a journalist, right? I think his name is Tim Tai. He's not special because he's a journalist. Anybody, any schmuck can take your picture in a public space.
Okay. Yes.
No, I do have the photo. I have the right to take photos. First Amendment.
Excuse me. If you would like to take photos, you need to please give them space. You cannot be this close to them. Please.
They're being close to me.
What I'm saying is, you need to move back.
Darvo, deny attack and reverse victim and offender.
Why do they have such a problem with photos?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think they see anybody with a professional looking camera, anybody from the media as the establishment. Like, the media isn't gonna like report fawningly on their little protest. Like probably 2/3 to 3/4 of mainstream news media and even alternative media online is going to be talking about, how wonderful these students are. They're taking a stand for what they believe in, blah, 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 right? So I don't understand why they're afraid of reporters. I mean, I could understand if Tim Tai was Lauren Southern, sure.
Okay, you realize that if we had done this shit in the public park that we held our meetup after getting ejected from the Calgary Expo, we would have been arrested.
Oh, yeah.
We would have been fucking arrested because we have to live by laws that these people don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the shit-eating grin on the blonde in the front.
Oh, yeah. He's just like, woohoo, this is great.
You're not afraid of a damn thing, but you're enjoying this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are. You think it's funny? You need to move.
I really have a hard time taking anybody seriously who starts chanting, hey, hey, ho, ho. Like,
yeah, well, I mean,
hey, hey, ho, ho, anything.
Well, they're shaming women's sexuality. How can you take that seriously? All right.
Oh, you.
I have a job to do. I'm documenting this for national news.
You cannot be like this.
Yes, I can. This is the First Amendment that protects your right to stand here. Protects mine.
Oh, geez, a First Amendment.
I know.
And just a spoiler for everyone. Senator McCaskill supports these people.
Yep.
Supports these people in violating someone's First Amendment right.
Yeah, and she was interviewed the day after this particular version of this video was uploaded to YouTube. I'm not sure what day this particular thing happened, but the channel that we've scooped the video from, this was uploaded on the 9th of November, and the upload of the Rachel Maddow show that we're going to look at afterwards was uploaded the next day. So unless there's some big delay as far as the Rachel Maddow show between when it was taped and when it went up on YouTube, it's reasonable to think that McCaskill was commenting after all of this happened.
All right.
I'm not going to
Okay, ma'am.
She doesn't want you.
First Amendment, ma'am, don't yell at me, ma'am. The First Amendment protects your right to be here and mine.
Okay, we protect our space and being.
There's not a law about that.
Forget a law. How about humanity?
Forget a law.
Or respect.
Well, how about documenting this
Yes.
for posterity?
Please.
Look at the gallery of shit-eating grins on the white people's faces.
I
The
know.
white women's faces, and the black people are like not even noticing. Like, they're fucking just in there like a tick on a hot vein of blood.
Yep.
They're just like, I'm enjoying this shit. I'm not actually in the group of people that is dealing with racism, but I get to appropriate this moral authority in order to bully other people.
The Freedom Riders would have been proud.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, these are people too. You need to back off.
No, there's no law.
You know what? Let's back off about personal space. Back off, please.
So she inserts herself into his personal space, and then she says, "Back off out of my personal space."
Well, what can you do?
It is really like that, you know, that one protest where the chick goes up to the dude who's protesting abortion, and she shoves his tits against him, and then she starts yelling, "Stop touching my breasts," and then like assaults him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's. I mean, this is like you cannot. Don't try to figure out the logic, because there is none. There is none.
Oh, it's
But I just find it remarkable. If you look at the faces in the crowd, all of the white women are grinning like just the cat that got the canary, and you can see the black people are actually more serious.
Yeah.
Because this actually affects them.
Yep.
So nobody else can shut up.
Back off. If you want to back off, go.
Don't push me.
Hey, you need to back off. I'm appropriating someone's victimhood for myself.
Yeah. Or
Back off. You can't watch this mining operation in process.
Yeah, no, and you need to back off and get out of my personal space while I constantly advance on you.
And push you.
Yeah.
If you're gonna act like that, well, you know what? She decides she's gonna talk to you or not.
She doesn't need to talk to me. I don't want her to talk to me.
See? It's like she gets to decide who she's going to talk to or not. He's like, I don't want her to talk to me. He's here to take pictures.
Yeah, it's not even an interview. She's just got a camera.
Like,
By the way, this yeah, let's continue.
I know that. I know you better back up. Why? I know that. Don't push me. Don't touch us.
Yeah, that's part of the wrong lead. Excuse me.
Yeah, this is where it just starts to get real, and you can tell the Asian guy is like, oh shit.
yeah, no, he's a little bit, because I mean they're behind him too, right?
Yeah.
Like he's completely encircled, and he's probably wondering, like, if I do back up now, right? Are they just going to kick the shit out of me? Like everybody's all excited.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's all. I mean, look at on this guy's face, right? That's like a "don't fuck with me, motherfucker" look.
Mm-hmm.
Like things have, you know, you're standing like marooned in a crowd of hostile people who are all yelling at you, and they're whipping themselves up.
Yeah. Well, in particular, you got those shit-eating grins on the women's faces. That's pretty. That is starting to. It's that kind of expression generally involves dehumanizing someone.
Yeah.
And I props to the Asian guy, because at this point I would be like, I'm leaving.
Oh yeah. No, I would have left way earlier on.
I probably wouldn't have even approached them, because this is a situation. It doesn't matter what your legal rights are. When you're approaching a mob like this that's working themselves up, they can kill you in a matter of minutes or even seconds.
Yeah, no, mob psychology is extremely erratic. You know, it just all it takes is one person crossing a line, and it's like a barrier has been.
Yeah, one person throwing a punch, and he's on the ground being beaten to death.
Yeah, by everybody.
And you can. This is the moment where you can tell that he's actually starting to get afraid.
Yeah.
She's in the way. I'm not in the way.
You have
Don't push me, man.
Don't push me.
Sir, what's your name? Can you please leave? You're with the Office of Greek Life?
My name is 1950.
Ma'am, are you with the Office of Greek Life?
No, my name is Concerned Student of 1950.
She is with the Office of Greek Life. She works for the university, and yeah, she's like, no, I don't work for there. I'm not going to tell you who I am. And but she works for the Office of Greek Life.
Yes, sir. You gotta stop that. As the meeting with somebody taking
Yet another grinning white guy. Oh wait, no, he's with the. Is he with the press?
I don't know.
He's also got a camera, but he seems to be on the other side.
He seems to be trying to block him too. Oh no, he's got a mic.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. I don't know why he'd be grinning, but
I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to fit in as a white person in this crowd.
You gotta go, bro. Why does everyone think the media doesn't support you? Just chill out, just a second. That's serious.
Holy shit! I didn't even notice this the first time. You're right. He is completely surrounded.
Yeah.
Now, this is one instance where I would have actually approached the crowd and tried to say, "Okay, please, just let's pull this guy out of this situation before he dies."
Yeah.
Or they kill him.
Well, I mean, like it's probably not going to happen. Like he's, like a situation like this. I mean, your chances of being assaulted aren't. It's not like he's definitely going to be assaulted and then like have a serious problem, but like get seriously assaulted. But I mean, it is much more likely to happen in this kind of situation than if he's even just talking with one person who's angry.
I mean, he probably isn't even like. I highly doubt he's even conservative.
No,
he's probably he's just a student reporter, and they're treating him like. And no, why?
He won an award for best photograph of the year from I forget what magazine or association, and it was a photo of I think it was Michael Brown's mother crying.
All right, so there you go.
There you go.
He probably really is trying to capture this prosperity.
Yeah,
and you guys are treating him like somebody who deserves to be dragged behind a pickup.
Yeah, like yes.
Both of us in here. Yes, we're not doing anything wrong. Law saying students have the right to congregate on public spaces. I don't think
You said that you're harassing. You just touch her. You just touch her. Tell us you're the one.
Like, what a bunch of assholes. Did you just touch us? No. She reached for his fucking camera.
Respect for this community. What is so hard about respecting our bush? Because I have a job to do. Yeah. We don't care about your job.
They have a life to live. They have an education to get and a life to live.
I'm a student
live.
too.
But sir, these are more students who are asking you.
You need to calm down.
Okay, but that's...
Look here. He's got sweat coming down here.
Yeah, this is, and it wasn't there before, so that this is when he's starting to feel it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, none of these kids are dressed like it's particularly hot out.
No, it's probably a cool fall day, and he's starting to sweat. This is yeah. He's scared.
Yeah,
and he's still staying there. So props to him.
Yeah.
And this is our friend. Our friend's life was on the line.
Oh shit! This is the moment.
And I try to document it for history.
Everybody else has documented it, sir. You got your
They're being
own.
respectful.
You got it.
Everybody else is too. They're being respectful. They're being respectful about it. Everybody.
They're being respectful about it, right? All of these other people that are, taking pictures or whatever. He just wants a picture of the tent city. That's all he wants.
Yeah, that's it.
Too, with that being respectful.
Oh, wait, I get it. They only want them to have any kind of press coverage, like only the people that they approve.
Yeah.
And somehow this guy didn't get on the list.
Yeah. Apparently not.
I don't even understand how they're drawing this line between who is in the group and who is out the group.
Yeah, I know, it's weird.
It's just almost completely fucking random, and that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like, you realize that anyone in that crowd apparently could fall on the outside of that random line at any moment.
Yeah.
Because it apparently has no fucking logic.
I don't know.
That's
Okay, they are together.
No,
I'm not going
you
in
are
there right now.
No, you're not.
You're infringing on what they need right now, which is to be alone.
Now, I need you on
There's guys.
You lost this one, bro. You lost this one, bro. Back up. You lost this one, bro. You just lost this one, bro.
Lost? What the fuck, Ward, are you playing in your mind? All he wants is a photo of the individuals who are on a hunger strike for prosperity. What has he lost? This is total mob mentality. It's scary. And honestly, as a person who's almost inevitably cast in the role of outside the group, this is really fucking scary.
Yeah.
Because I can't even tell the line that they're drawing anymore. It's not even like there isn't even any fucking, even their logic is no longer in existence.
Yeah.
I mean, usually it would be like, okay, if I'm somebody who actually questions the feminist narrative or the idea that, reducing groups of people to victims constantly might actually be harmful to those groups of people. If I'm somebody like that, I know that I'm going to go to that crowd and they're probably going to tear me to pieces.
Yeah.
But this guy, he doesn't have even any discernible gang colors on.
Yeah.
Or he's even advanced and offensive to them opinion. So that it's like they're what logic are they using to decide who's out group now? What logic? It's like some sort of feral pack logic now.
Yeah. They can smell it on him.
Yes.
He's a religious right-winger. And he's a member of Stormfag.
Well, and also he's probably Ku Klux Klan. He's part of the Asian division.
Yeah. I heard that's the fastest growing branch of the KKK. Overachieving Asians. Anyhow, let's continue.
Hey, where the signs at? Just put the sign in his face. Pass
You lost this one, bro. Just back up. Just back up. You lost this fight. You lost this battle. Just back up.
Hey. So, look, we got a perimeter. Get to the middle. They got a terrible shot to shoot. Get away from them. You got the wall. Get away from them.
What terrible shot to shoot? What?
You do not respect
Get
that
away
space.
from them. You stay out. The wall stays out. Get them away. That's what we're here for. Now, inside, get away. They got nothing to do now.
You good, bro. You good. We gotta make this one big. It's all good. I understand. Especially for disrespectful people like him.
Disrespectful?
Yeah, I can't imagine what he had done.
Well, I guess he's invading the inner sanctum.
Yeah.
Like, this is a fucking cult. Protect your inner sanctum. No, you're not a cult at all. Not at all. And what line are you drawing? Like, it doesn't even, are these personal friends? How have you made the decision of what's in group and out group? It just seems like it's almost like a madness that now we're drawing in group, out group lines wherever something just mental fissure, like, I don't know. This is actually sort of scary. What I'm seeing is sort of scary.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason for him to be out. He's Asian, and there's no indication of his political position. And
then, yeah, the one thing that he's known for is an extremely sympathetic picture taken, regarding the Michael Brown thing. I believe it was Michael Brown.
So yeah, someone actually suggested that he's being disrespectful because he's not immediately cowed by bullying. Maybe that's what it is. He's not, in this moment, he is not capitulating to the group thought. And because of that, he's become a threat. So in other words, all the line that they're drawing, these individuals are drawing between out group and in group, is whether or not you submit to the power of the group.
Yeah.
That, oh God.
That makes sense.
But it makes sense, and it's also fucking scary.
Of course. Well, but this is what groups are like. This is what mobs are like, so.
No, I didn't.
He's at San Diego. San Diego? There you go. What's your name? What's on pushing you down?
Come on, man. I know. Go change the story. Go change the story. Just walk, move. I'm walking forward. I'm walking forward.
We're just walking forward. We're allowed to walk forward.
You're pushing me.
I'm being pushed. That's hilarious. They're the ones walking forward, pushing him, and one of the women says, I'm the one being pushed.
Yeah, I'm being pushed. I don't have a choice. I can't stop what I'm doing. Huh, where have we heard that before?
Mm-hmm.
I just can't help it. I'm being acted upon. Ah.
It's our right to walk forward, isn't it? I believe it's our right to walk forward.
It's my right. It's my right to swing my fist wherever I want. It just so happens that you put your face in the presence of my fist.
Yeah.
Therefore, no, I didn't assault you.
Yeah. No, I know. It's yeah. No, and my car has a right to be on the road, so just get out of the way, right?
Yeah. No, all those pedestrians. I have a right to drive forward. Not my fault that you're in the way.
That's right.
Yeah.
Stop.
Okay, let's do the next one.
Don't.
All right. Hey, who wants to help me get this reporter out of here? I need some muscle over here.
Oh my God. Oh my God. The person who was filming has just gotten.
Yeah.
I need some muscle over here.
Do you want to see if there's.
All right. Hey,
Yeah.
Okay. The full version. I'm just checking to see if
The link to the full version?
it's the full version. I'm just trying to find.
No, it's going to be at the end. But it looks like the person who is actually filming this.
Yeah.
That the next part is him being targeted.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Talk to you.
No, you need to get out. You need to get out.
No, I don't.
You need to get out.
I actually don't.
All right. Hey, who wants to help me get this reporter out of here? I need some muscle over here. Help me get him out. Who's gonna help me?
So she's actually she's asking for somebody to physically assault and kidnap this guy. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's inciting a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure she's not been fired.
She's had to step down from one position, or she voluntarily stepped down from one of her positions, but she's still teaching classes.
Yeah, okay, let's continue here.
Are you documenting? What are you
I'm
doing?
documenting.
Okay, well, you need to get out. You need to get out.
This is public property.
Yeah, I know, that's a really good one. I'm a communication faculty, and I really get that argument. But you need to go.
They're mocking people's freedoms.
She teaches journalism, like she teaches communications and media, like, stuff that journalists have to take.
I wonder if in like 50 years, people who are on the outside of these mobs having their freedoms taken away by mob decree will be considered their own persecuted group.
Probably not.
Really?
Probably not. Right? Because if you look at how we identify the persecuted group, it's static. It doesn't change. It'll always be blacks. It'll always be women, right? There's no reality in which, they're going to accept that, that women are, say, going to accept that they're no longer a persecuted minority that's actually a majority. So because they've attached victimhood to specific features that don't change.
Yeah, but they will acknowledge that people have been victimized for being Marxist. So it's not always just a feature of physical appearance.
Mm.
So, I mean, in 50 years,
I don't know.
once
I can't
this
see
crest into some sort of violence, will we actually look back and say that these are the bigots?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, why don't we start with Senator McCaskill now?
I just want to see one little last bit of this.
Oh, you need to go. You need to go.
So please respect these people. I think it's very simple. I didn't.
That dude there, this dude here, looks exactly like my boyfriend's cousin.
That's important information.
It is.
You're respecting that reporter.
Do you want us to walk you out?
Well, they very politely asked you to leave, and I'm happy to walk out with you. And they very politely asked just go.
You can go. You can go. Can you leave? You can go. You can go. You can go.
You need to go now.
You need to respect us, man.
Isn't it interesting that this white girl or woman, or yeah, white woman, called out for muscle, and what ended up happening is a bunch of black women, black men, and then also a white guy. Because it's interesting, because it's white women's threat narratives that are usually acted out by black people and white men.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually the white woman saying, "Oh, he looked at me wrong."
Yeah.
That precipitates the lynching. So it's like it's still nothing's changed. Her threat narrative is being acted out by black people and white men.
There you go.
There you go.
You're asking him.
Get in here.
Get
in here.
Oh, she's disappeared.
Yeah.
They're just doing what she told them to do, and then she's disappeared. How little things change.
Yeah, after she mocked the entire idea of First Amendment rights for journalists, then she went on her merry way. I wonder if she makes another appearance.
Well, she targeted him for potential mob violence, and then she moves on.
Yeah, here, let's see.
Oh, there she is.
You need to help. You guys need to make room for this guy to come through. He shouldn't be in here. No. And don't let him back in.
I just have to wonder, what are faculty doing here in the middle of, like, what should be a student protest?
Enjoying the spoils. Enjoying the moral relevancy that they think they now have.
Because, I mean, like, this whole thing seems like these are supposed to be, like, responsible adults, right? And, like, they're the ones who are supposed to be, you know, if they're involved in this at all, they should be tempering, right? The group. They should be, you know, like, maybe giving them advice, you know, seeing about, you know, being a liaison between these kids and the administration or whatever. But the roles that these two women have played in this, I mean, like, just the it's just weird.
No comment.
Hey, y'all.
No comment, no comment, no comment. So they've made a big wall. People. There we go. They're all joining arms. And they're not joining arms in a human shield while a big crowd of 3,000 feminists assault them, and because they want to burn down a church that has people inside. It's just to keep the press out. So,
well, that's why they have their backs turned, because there's no actual threat from that way.
No.
This is so interesting. Instead of turning outward, oh look, she's the queen of the hour.
She's like
oh my God, it's Boudica.
Boudica, you mean?
Oh yeah, Boudica. She's viewing her troops.
I know, she's being very like, she seems to be in charge of all this. It's
like, well, she gets her 15 minutes of fame as the leading the charge of God knows what, keeping the press out of a protest.
I guess.
I mean, there's no physical danger here. There are no fire hoses. There's no police. There's nobody throwing bombs or anything. The only thing that they're doing with this perimeter is making sure that nothing is documented outside of their little circle.
Yeah.
So the only threat is other people's eyes watching this. That's their threat.
Yeah.
So essentially, and let's extrapolate this. Let's imagine that these particular fascists got in power. How are they any different than fucking North Korea? They have exactly the same perception of violence. Violence is anybody's eyes looking at anything that they haven't pre-approved.
Yeah, well, and they want to control information, and they're willing to, essentially commit crimes to make sure that happens.
Yep, because there are multiple crimes that we witnessed here.
Yeah. And it wasn't like it was there was a massive violation of First Amendment rights, but there was also assault and illegal restraint and essentially kidnapping.
Yeah, once you actually force a person to move against their will from one location to another, that's technically kidnapping. So these are actual crimes that we've witnessed.
It's not like a bouncer throwing someone out of a private nightclub, privately owned nightclub. I mean, it's not like, security who have a mandate, like if it was university security, they have a mandate to keep order on the university's property, right? This is just individual people with no authority whatsoever to do what they're doing and doing it anyway.
And even if you are security, often they get hit with lawsuits or criminal charges because they do this usually to a woman. So it's not always it doesn't necessarily protect you. Even if you're a man trying to deal with an unruly woman who's a patron, you can still be in legal jeopardy. Yeah. But in this case, this mob can do whatever the hell it likes. Yeah. No charges apply. And a professor at a fucking university can incite criminal behavior in the students, and she isn't kicked out and permanently fucking blackmarked and not allowed to ever teach again.
Yeah.
What the this is the end of the rule of law. Yeah. And now we're going to institute in its stead some sort of mob logic where nobody knows when they've pissed off the mob. It's not even an issue of what you believe. It's not even an issue of what you look like. There's no logic to it whatsoever. If they have a tingle in their neither parts that they want to destroy someone out of someone's a sense of moral outrage, they'll just go and rape you with their morality.
Yeah. All right. On to McCaskill. Because I can't wait to see what her and Rachel Maddow have to say about this.
Yeah, multiple violations of First Amendment rights, multiple actual crimes being committed against people in this situation. What does our satirist, because it's obviously satire, she doesn't believe in actually silencing groups of people. McCaskill has made that very clear with her satire. It couldn't possibly be that she wants to actually advance this stuff seriously and then turn around and say, oh, if you think that I'm advancing this stuff seriously, you're just humorless.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Joining us now for the interview is Senator Claire McCaskill of Missouri. She has a new memoir out called Plenty Ladylike. Senator, it's great to have you here with us. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Rachel. And by the way,
pause it for a second. So she's plenty ladylike.
Uh-huh.
I'm plenty not ladylike.
Yeah, no, me neither. So,
when you are parodied on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
Here's the thing.
That was pretty cool.
You know what's the weird thing? It looked like he was wearing my exact clothes.
Okay. So this is just the gossip portion.
Yeah.
They have to
keep my clothes in the building. Like I don't wear like a suit when I go home.
They probably figured out a way to get them.
Okay, that's just creepy and weird.
I think it's quite possible. I need to send the dry cleaning bill to them. But thank you for that.
You bet.
So in that interview this morning, you sounded like you maybe knew these resignations were coming today.
These would be the resignations of the people at the University of Missouri, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly have been in contact with the administration and frankly been in contact with Jonathan Butler's family over the weekend.
The hunger strike.
Jonathan Butler and his $20 million family.
Okay, so here's the question. I'm guessing, and I'm just going to be the Watson. I'm guessing the resignations weren't the professors inciting criminal activity in their students.
No.
Oh, of course not.
I think it's like the president of the university or something like that.
Oh my God! It looks like we're getting another another invasion in here. Unless that was just accidental.
Invasion of what?
Well, someone just popped into the room, and I'm like, how the hell would you know where that?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's weird. But let's just keep going. It might have just been a fluke.
Okay.
I don't know how Google does this shit.
That sometimes you can do better work when you are quietly reaching out and talking and trying to move the needle. But the credit goes to these kids.
Well, okay, you're right. A lot of the work can be done by quietly reaching out and trying to reason with people. So I don't know necessarily why you're giving credit to the student protesters.
Credit goes to these kids who took a stand and to the football players who went to visit the young man who had gone days without food.
2 days. 2 days without food. Two whole days without food. No. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I got to deal with some phone here.
All right. Well, 2 whole days without food. The football team came out in support of them. But yeah, I don't know. This Jonathan Butler dude, he was one of the main organizers of the Black Lives Matter movement. And
okay, sorry about that. That was interesting. I know I've recently been doxxed, so I wonder if friend, you're going to be blocked now. Goodbye. All right. Now I wonder if that phone call was like, well, try Allison's number during the show.
Oh,
that'd be interesting. That'd be cool. Like, you could do that, and then maybe we could actually have a call-in show, because this has been something that's been plaguing us forever.
Huh. Well, I mean, like you had you were doxxed? I
think so. Yeah. Huh. I mean, it wasn't really like I was doxxed by Whois like years ago when I actually registered a lot of the websites that I'm in. So no big deal there.
Yeah, I got doxxed by the white pages, those fucking bastards.
I know.
Yeah,
that's a lot of people. I don't know why anybody's not gone after them legally.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely, 100% agreed. Okay, continuing.
And they were motivated and moved by his commitment. And then I was proud that it wasn't just the Black players that were in that picture. It was the team and the coach that all kind of came together and said,
okay, well, I can agree with that. It's, that kind of student solidarity. And this shows a spirit within the school that is decidedly anti-racism.
Okay, but here's the thing. Racism, rule of law, and actually protecting people's fundamental freedoms. There has been so much, throughout history, there's been so much persecution of people who are not in power. That is what protects them from the excesses of the elitists. And saying now that you want to remove those protections in order to advance some kind of anti-racism message, you're fucking idiots.
Yeah, I know. It's because it's not like say, I don't know, a bill that maybe gets introduced to protect women from cyber violence could ever be used against a woman with an opinion. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And but I mean, here we have this movement or a protest, an ongoing protest within the school that is essentially saying that the racism is so systemic here that the Black students don't feel safe. And then they have all of this solidarity.
Oh, cool. We got someone actually come on. Okay, Justin, why are you here?
Hello. I'm sorry if I interrupt you this, but I pretty much got this random link, and I just saw this stream. I kind of looked at this whole thing, and I just like, what the fuck happened to these people? These people are just like collectivist assholes. Just destroy, just like fuck everyone up. I really don't get it.
Okay, that's sort of where we're coming from, but you know, it's I can't really keep you in the stream because this is a private
I'm sorry though, and it's just like, I just.
Anyway, thank you for your comment.
That.
Yeah, no worries. You're the
I'll see you later.
Yep, bye.
Take care.
All right, that's weird. I don't know how people are getting the stream. Oh wait, I know how they're getting the stream.
How are they getting the stream?
Because of your freaking screen share, Karen.
Oh.
Oh, jeez. Oh God. Well, that's explained. And now we're probably going to get more people popping in and having a comment. All right, but who cares? I can eject them as soon as they come in.
Guys, boot them the fuck out. All right.
We're here too, and something needs to happen. There needs to be a reprioritization of how important this problem is on campus. And I'm proud that I think.
Well, but look at all of these people. Look at all, like, this does not seem like a school that has like a massive systemic racism issue when you have all of these white and Asian faces and, you know, sitting amongst all of these black faces. Like,
okay, but here's the thing.
Football team comes out to support them. Like,
this is what I understand the incident to be. So someone screamed a racial slur at Wolf, I believe, and they were suspended or ejected or permanently like removed from the campus by the dean, I believe it was, right? What else was he supposed to do? Was he supposed to crucify them, burn them at the stake? What is this protest about?
Like, you're never going to get rid of every asshole who thinks it's okay to like yell nigger out his car window. You're never going to do it. You're never going to be able to like weed all of those people out in the admissions process, right? You have to just deal with them as they happen. And when you have, I mean, and like there was this another incident where someone drew a swastika in a washroom in one of these dormitory or a public hall or something like that. In feces, right, in a bathroom stall. And I'm thinking, okay, you got this whole big thing going on here, right, where everybody's making a big deal about racism, and you don't think that there's going to be some troll out there who's going to think it's like just hilariously funny when he's like hammered out of his mind one night after partying to like take a shit and draw a swastika.
Well, but the thing is that they are judging this community not by the what you're saying, like this crowd of people who are standing in solidarity against racism, but by a bunch of idiots who are probably don't even genuinely believe the bullshit that they're spewing, saying a racial slur and then writing in feces on a wall. Like, these are fucking marginal people. Would you please judge the community by the freaking support it's giving it for anti-racism versus the people who are not even like they're not even nobody is going to laud somebody writing in feces in a fucking bathroom.
Yep.
No, he's not going to get a platform.
Yeah, and if you look at it, you know, like the very fact that the one guy was identified and expelled. There's no way to identify, I guess maybe through DNA or something, if they did random DNA tests of everybody on campus. There's no way to identify whoever it was that scrawled that swastika. But the people that were identified were given the boot, right? They were punished. So, like, it's I don't understand what more can be done. I mean, it's not like the administration has like this unlimited, omnipotent power to do shit and to violate people's rights and to violate the contracts that it signs with the students when they pay to go there.
What would pacify these people?
I don't know.
What would make them say, you know what, this is going too far. Maybe we shouldn't be threatening people's fundamental freedoms in the service of what?
Well, I mean, like this is one of the really horrible things, because everybody can get behind even a really, really rough, unpleasant protest, right? Like a protest that gets really hostile and vigorous, right? Everybody can get behind that if they believe that there is something that justifies that kind of protest, right? But when it's something this weird and, I mean, like,
nebulous.
Yeah, I mean,
the only thing that would prevent this is some sort of Skynet implant in people's brains and completely remove the ability to actually think racist thoughts.
Yeah, and
no.
the fact that the guy who yelled the racial slur, he was punished, right, by the administration. So, it's kind of like, but that doesn't go far enough or something. I don't know. And obviously, because there is some situation somewhere where somebody could feel like it's a good idea to yell that out of the window of their truck when they're drunk, right? That's caused by some kind of pervasive atmosphere of, I'm not going to, because I don't know what it's actually like at the University of Missouri. I have never been there, right? But
there's something else I'd like to add. I believe Wolf was wanting to be elected to student council, and he affirms that somebody said that a black person or someone who wasn't part of the fraternity community wouldn't get elected, and then he got elected.
Are you talking about Butler?
I don't think it was Butler. I think it was Wolf.
Strike student.
There's too many fucking names in this. Anyway, there was one black student who ran for student council and was informed that he wouldn't get in because he was black, and he actually ran and got in, and apparently by a landslide. So why are they judging the community by the fact that he was told not to do it? And I wonder who exactly told him that he was a victim, and not by the fact that he got in by a landslide.
Yeah,
like, that's people who are assholes exist. We don't have to remove people's fundamental freedoms because assholes exist.
Yeah.
I don't even understand. Like, it's just baffling. Nothing is going to satisfy these people. Nothing.
Yeah.
They're going to create a hellhole.
Yeah, no, and this is why they're getting some blowback. And of course, the blowback is coming from all of the usual places, right-wing media, right? And alternative media and certain people on YouTube who tend to be willing to say things that are not politically correct, even if they're not right-wing. So yeah, and everybody else is just sort of doing what McCaskill here is doing, which is fawning over the actions of the students, glossing over all of the things that they're doing to just turn this entire discussion, I guess, with the administration and the powers that be at the university into like a hostile, impossible discussion to have.
Well, let's just put our thinking caps on. If what would have stopped this protest? The individual in question was, or the individuals in question who said the racial slurs were found and they were punished. They were expelled, I believe, or suspended. What would have prevented this protest? I guess them never saying anything in the first place. Mm-hmm. Well, what would you need to do to prevent people's actions and free speech? You would need totalitarianism.
Yeah.
And then you would also need execution if people actually... Do you realize this is not going to come out well? This is not going to end well.
I mean, it's free speech protections that essentially have allowed movements like this to be able to exist get things done that they wanted to get done, you know, when their speech was considered highly unpopular. I'm almost certain that, you know, the civil rights movement, right when it began, you know, it really didn't have a lot of popular support.
No, actually, it didn't have much popular support at all. The Freedom Riders usually were numbered less than a dozen. So they actually, a lot of their protests were, they would walk maybe 6 people, 6 to 10.
Yeah, and they had to value their First Amendment rights. They had to value.
It's the only thing protecting them.
Yeah, their right to protest, their right to freely speak and express themselves, their right to document what they were doing in public, and the right of the press to do that, because it was the press that managed to sway public opinion.
Yeah, that's the difference. I mean, their only real salvation was press coverage, and that's what they invited.
Yeah, and these guys don't want it. I mean, like it's almost like they
are in power.
Well, they know that that this particular narrative is an establishment narrative. They know it, right? And that's why they're willing to suppress speech, because you don't have to protect popular speech.
Okay. No, you don't have to protect popular speech. That's very true. So obviously people who are advancing the notion that you don't have to protect speech are actually the ones in power. Because nobody's going to fire them for that speech.
Yeah. Nobody's going to fire them. Nobody's going to boot them out of school. They're certainly not going to be arrested and put in jail like you know, like, and I'm willing to, you know, give some leeway for people who are involved in a protest and, you know, emotions are running high and all of that, to, you know, for getting into somebody's personal space or whatever, or, you know, like, I don't think that maybe, I don't think that kidnapping charges are realistic, in a situation like this, but the reality is that that's what they did. Right?
No, they're not realistic in a situation like this. However, they do demonstrate a gross violation of people's freedoms.
Yes, absolutely, and it should never ever come to that. And one of the things about the Freedom Riders and a lot of the civil rights protesters was they would never have even thought about doing that.
Well, no, they wouldn't have wanted press not to cover what they were doing, because that was the point.
Well, and they would not have stepping out of line like that, right, would have gotten them a beat down by the cops.
Yeah, this is a considerably different situation, and I wonder why they don't realize that this is being encouraged. This kind of protest, which is essentially saying, it's not protesting against totalitarianism, it's protesting for it.
Yeah, and you have a white woman. You have a fucking middle-aged, privileged white woman leading it, taking a leadership role, ordering people around, right? Lording and strutting, you know, the circle, you know, everybody's joined arm in arm, and she's walking along her circle, like you said, like Boudica, right? Just surveying, just strutting like a general, you know, back and forth in front of her troops, her loyal army. It's just completely fucking.
Well, it's essentially what it is once again, it's women or white women in lordship or in control over a threat narrative being acted out by black men and white men and also black women. So it's like, you don't see that. That's what this is. That's why they don't want press looking at it.
No.
People looking at injustice only assists in injustice ending. This, people not looking at injustice assists in it continuing. So the people who want the press not to look at injustice, they are the ones perpetuating it. All right. So it's and nobody even notices this. I mean, I'm guessing that Senator McCaskill will probably at some point tell us how all of this racism and the issues of these black people actually is really her issues.
Yeah.
No, but you know, I could be surprised.
Well, if they're not her issues, they're so very similar to
They're illustrations of her issues.
Yeah, they're just like pretty much exactly the same thing.
There's no, yeah, but you know, we could be wrong. But the other thing is that in saying their illustrations were similar to her issues, she's appropriating their victimhood.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So as long as Black people remain victims, white women, privileged white women, in you know, who have political connections, who probably are very wealthy, like Senator McCaskill, can always just skim the cream off the top, and apply it and give her own arguments moral weight. Why she should control society.
I went through the exact same thing as the Blacks during the civil rights movement.
Oh yeah, I mean Senator like women like her, like the woman who Emmett Till, the woman who chased Emmett Till with a gun and then got her brother and her son to finish the job by lynching him and throwing him in a river. Obviously, Senator McCaskill. Wait, how does that work? I
don't know. I don't know how that works.
Well, Senator McCaskill would certainly be somehow she understands Emmett Till's
pain, and his struggle.
Yeah. She wasn't like women like her weren't instrumental in getting men like Emmett Till killed.
Yeah.
All right,
let's be appropriate. Boys like Emmett Till.
And boys, you're right.
So okay, keep going. Let's get through this.
Proud that I think today the university really took a meaningful step towards that.
And admiring the...
Yeah, heads rolled, so that was a meaningful step.
Actually, I think you need to share your... Just let me see what... Okay, there we go. It was my thing. All right, keep going.
Okay.
Tenacity and dedication of those activists.
To what? What tenacity? Okay, stop it. Tenacity and dedication to what? To preventing the press from covering it?
I don't think that that's necessarily what they're talking about. I don't think they're talking about that at all because I don't think they want to address it.
What tenacity for what? Intimidating an Asian guy with a camera?
Yeah, I don't think that that's what they're addressing. They're addressing the hunger strike, and the hunger
starving for 2 days.
Going on a hunger strike for 2 days to draw attention to issues of racism on the campus. So an insanely privileged young Black grad student went hungry for a couple of days. Who knows? Maybe he was eating a whole bunch of stuff in that tent, and that's why they didn't want the cameras there. Maybe somebody smuggled in some food. I don't know. But, you know, like, honestly, this young man is, you know, from what I've read, his family's worth like $20 million. And he's, you know, and his dad earns, you know, 7 figures a year. And so he's not, he is not sort of, you know, from the mean streets of Philly. He's a child of privilege. And he wears problem glasses.
Yeah.
So.
Which I'm sure she can actually relate to his experience. My God, those glasses are annoying.
I know. I don't understand. When did they come back? Like, you're not.
Why can they not die?
Like, oh.
Well, I never understand anything to do with fashion, but whatever.
I mean, it's really hard to find a pair of these sort of thick plastic rimmed spectacles that are flattering, unless there's shades, and only because, you know, you can have them be all the same sort of shade of black.
Yeah. Okay, let's I guess they're not trying to be flattering, they're trying to look school marmish.
I guess intelligent or something.
Issues the veracity of their complaints and their concerns that there's not just been random racially tinged incidents at the University of Missouri, but that there is a problem with race relations and the way.
Okay, stop. They have concerns.
Yeah.
That there's systemic racism, even though.
Yeah.
The person who yelled the racial slur was punished by the dean.
Yeah.
And also all of this support.
Yeah. And also the guy who wanted to run for student council and some asshole told him, "You'll never win because you're black," and then he won by a landslide.
Yeah. So would you please stop the witch hunt?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's very, very strange. It's like if Margaret Thatcher had said that, society was misogynistic, as her first speech as prime minister after she was elected. That society hates women and won't allow them to succeed or achieve. I'm going to say this during my inauguration speech, right? Yeah, no, it
couldn't be just, a totalitarian who wants to solidify power.
Well, and I'm not saying racism is over in America. Far be it from me to say racism is over in America. Far be it from me to say that I know exactly what the climate is at the University of Missouri because I've never been there, right? But from everything that I've seen, issues with isolated incidents of racism, they tend to either be punished or at least not supported by the greater student body.
So essentially, you got the mute issue.
Oh, okay, just a sec.
All right, so essentially what I'm seeing is, I think they just want a witch hunt. I mean, the fact that one isolated incidence of racism happened is now everybody has to stand in solidarity. Everything has to be stopped. People's rights have to be potentially bulldozed over because reasons.
Yeah.
And then they don't even they don't even consider some of the underlying racist implications of some of the stuff that we've been pointing out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't even consider that this is a bunch of white women once again directing a threat narrative that is being acted out by black and white men.
Yeah.
This is white women's power. That they get to stride and say, oh, we need some muscle over here. We need some muscle over here.
Yeah.
Do my work. Do my bidding.
Yeah. Put yourselves at risk.
Put yourselves at risk. Let's see what white woman Senator McCaskill has to say about all of this, about this experience of this threat narrative that she's spinning being acted out by these individuals.
All right.
Racially inflected incidents are dealt with when they happen at that campus. You think the substance of their complaints is fair?
I do think on several issues. I think the substance of how diverse the faculty is.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a.
Oh my God. How diverse the faculty is.
Okay. Both a white woman, I saw both a white woman and a white man as faculty leading the protest.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, well, it's whatever. Let's. I don't even want to touch that one.
It's just this whole thing where it has to be exactly representative of if you were actually to make the university faculty there representative of the population in the school, or in the population in the U.S., right? You'd have to fire a lot of Asian professors.
No wonder the Asian guy was the one who was like, "Oh, yeah, that's the enemy."
Yeah, yeah, I guess.
Okay.
All over America. And by the way, in fairness to the University of Missouri, I bet you there's a lot of college administrations that over the next week are going to be checking to see what they're doing, checking to see how much effort they've put into retaining students who come in some way marginalized because of socioeconomic status or because of minority status. I think that this will be an impetus across the country.
Okay, just a sec. I want to correct what I was saying. The person who resigned was the college president was Thomas Wolfe. I just saw it ticker taping past. Yeah. So you're probably right about the correction of the name, and I'm sorry about that. I'm terrible with names.
I know you are. I'm surprised you pronounced Thomas Wolfe properly.
Wolfie. Mock my inadequacies.
Yes. Well, who else is going to do it?
Probably the YouTube comment section.
Yeah.
They probably think I'll probably get some comments. Yeah, Allison, you need to burn in hell.
Oh, well, I don't.
Well, sometimes, sometimes I get some pretty pointed comments.
Oh, well, that's all right.
Yeah, it's YouTube. I understand that YouTube is just an unending stream of negativity.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
I can understand that, and I don't need YouTube to change.
Neither can I. Especially since we're engaging in a stream of negativity here.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that I don't know. It's reaction to this craziness. At some point, you have to say, "Hey, fucking, what the fuck are you people advocating and doing?" Yeah. Apparently, she's eating an invisible corn dog at the moment, but yeah. So what is the end goal? You gotta expand your moral imagination to more than just I get to beat this person in moral outrage-gasm. You got to expand it to say, what principles am I advocating? Are they actually beneficial to society as a whole, or am I just enjoying the fact that I get to destroy someone and eject them from polite society because of my moral landscape? Like, is this bullying, or is it actual sensible discussion?
Yeah. All right, moving on.
All of higher education to really do a hard look in the mirror about their commitment to making sure that their campuses are tolerant and inclusive and doing the best job they can to make sure that all students are welcome and feel safe.
Okay, I'm guessing not me.
I felt safe. I don't think he felt safe.
Just saying. Jesus fuck. Okay, but you don't want conservative students to feel safe?
No.
You don't want students who have beliefs like ours to feel safe, because they certainly don't feel safe on college campuses, even though our beliefs aren't conservative. They're just different.
Yeah.
It's
Yep, agreed. Anyone who actually dares to say, I don't believe women are oppressed, and I don't think that they really ever were, nobody's going to be able to say that and feel safe. There's a lot of faculty that don't feel safe on campus. I've had 3 professors contact me in the last year or so to say, please keep doing what you're doing. As soon as I have tenure, I'm going to start speaking up, but my job is not secure and I have to keep my mouth shut for now.
Yeah.
Which is why people like Janice Fiamengo are so important.
Mm-hmm. What a ballsy woman.
Well, she's got tenure. Her job is safe, no matter how much she pisses off the establishment. She's the one, right? Because she's a professor of English, right? So she's in the arts, the liberal arts, the humanities, all, like that kind of sphere that is, in university faculties in general, it's 80%. People who vote Democrat or who would vote NDP or liberal, right? And then 20% who consider themselves conservatives. But in the non-hard science, you get not a bad ratio in business and economics and STEM fields and stuff like and stuff like that. Once you get into these kind of anything that's sort of not a hard, where every question has a right answer, not that kind of so English, philosophy, sociology, anthropology, all of these other areas, it's 44 to 1 in the US, liberal to conservative. Right. And it's got to be at least, similar in Canada. And so here's Janice, a lone conservative, and she is a conservative, a lone conservative amongst, 40 or 50 liberals. And she's in there speaking her mind. She knows she can't be fired, but they can make her life really annoying. They can make her life really difficult. They can make her job very unpleasant, right? So it takes, even once you have tenure, it takes guts to say the things that she's saying. did you go? Okay.
Yeah, I sent you a message. Sorry.
You sent me a message, but I can't see it because I'm on my full screen.
Ah, shit. Was there quite a bit of silence?
Not too much.
All right. Well, I apologize. I sent it to you via the Skypes.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I was like hoping it would pop up. I was like, oh God, I really have to, you know what? Let's just fucking move on.
All right. It's okay.
One of the things that feels very relevant to me about your book is that a lot of the book, I mean, everything, including the title, Plenty Ladylike is the title. A lot of your book is about things that you have faced as the first woman this and the first woman that, and as a lonely woman in a prosecutor's office or a lonely woman in the legislature.
Or a lonely conservative in a liberal faculty.
Okay, but mute again.
Oh, God damn it.
Okay, so oh wait. And incidentally, people, this is not our technical issues. This is Google's fucking technical issues. And we're probably going to see a few more people pop in because you're showing the link. But anyway, was she the first for all of this stuff?
I think she was probably a first, something or other in her state, a first district attorney or a first.
I've never understood why women are like so proud of that shit.
Oh, I can see being proud of, like you're the first, you're the trailblazer. I can understand that.
But they're not blazing a trail. The men are already there.
Well, yeah, but and I can see how it would maybe be difficult. It would be a difficult kind of thing to be a woman, particularly a certain kind of woman, in a very, very male environment. I mean, it wouldn't be easy to function, right? It would take a certain amount of being able to, adapt, right? Adapt to something, that's quite different from what you might be used to.
You know what I've never seen the first of? A poor person congressman or congresswoman. Mm-hmm. A poor person in the Senate. A poor person president. You never really see those firsts.
No. And I mean, like, what did we have in Canada? We had Chuck Cadman for a while there, ran as an independent, and he was just a regular working class guy. He used to go to Parliament in jeans.
Gotcha. But that's you don't see those firsts.
Well, but he got a lot of publicity when his son was stabbed in sort of stabbed to death in a very, very this kind of senseless act of youth violence. And and he ran on a platform of reforming crime laws, particularly juveniles and dealing with troubled youth before they get into serious trouble and all of that stuff. So he definitely was the oddball. He was the odd duck. He was not a lawyer. He was not a PhD, I don't think. Like he was, played in the garage band type thing. And that was appealing, I think, to a lot of people. But yeah, you don't really see, particularly in an American electoral system where you need so much money, right, just to run. You're really not going to see people who aren't connected, money and stuff like that. So
yeah. So I mean, we're never going to really see poor person first does this. So I mean, consider that while she's talking.
Let's
consider that.
Let's move forward.
A lot of things that you've done where you were in mostly male environments and the kinds of sexism that you experienced and the way that you dealt with it. I wonder, looking at the situation at the University of Missouri, looking at the resignation of the president and the chancellor now, if you feel like you have learned things about.
So we're drawing an equivalency here, between the sexism that Senator McCaskill had to deal with, which she apparently has been able to overcome since she's a senator, and very, very successful and well known, and kind of a sexist herself. But and the issues of poor Black students who have low socioeconomic status and are attending university.
Okay, can I point something out?
Yes.
Society, moral authority dictates the social priorities of a society. So it is a form of power. If this was white women marching into any other group and taking away their oil or their diamonds, you'd recognize it for what it is. You'd recognize it for colonialism. But somehow we don't recognize this as colonialism. The fact that somehow all of this victimhood, and I can see what they're doing. They're building up a moral head of steam so they're building up this moral conflagration. So then they can then append it to themselves and use that to propel their own agendas. That's what these women are doing. And you don't see that. You don't see that this is the ultimate goal of all of this, of teaching Black people to view themselves as victims, to view themselves as recipients of white largesse, which is basically what this is. This is making Black people think that the solutions to their problems come from white people. The end goal of all of this is that women like Senator McCaskill can continue to control the machine. They can continue to decide the priorities of the machine. That's what this is. Yeah. She is the man.
All your victim cred belong to us.
Okay.
All right.
The way to demonstrate leadership in the face of low-level intolerance that's otherwise passed over, otherwise seen as the normal way of doing business.
I'm picking
one of the things
noses.
I say in the book, and one of the things I'm fearful of, is, I confess, I'm not sure I handled it right when I was a young woman, and I faced some really pretty blatant and ugly sexism in the Missouri legislature in the early 80s.
Okay, I'm just pausing it for the DMCA.
80s, but I
pause it now. You realize in the early 80s, before these cronies got their talons into the rich seam of victimhood, I think there was actually, I know there was a peak in the mid 80s in women in STEM, and I'm pretty sure there was also a high of women in politics too. And then women like her got in and probably shoved every other woman out the door.
Yeah, well, because if you're not acting like a victim, then we have no use for you, right?
Yeah. Or alternatively, it was just, you know, how much of this is women not being able to accept other women in a group? Like, unable to let go of that competition.
Yeah, I can sort of see that.
How much of it was Senator McCaskill sabotaging the women around her?
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure that there was at one point in the 80s, I know for sure in STEM there was a peak. I'm not entirely sure because it was a while back since I looked at the statistics, but I think there was also a higher number of women in politics, or at least it's flatlined the growth since the 80s. So whatever happened to reduce women in politics, if it did reduce women in politics since the 80s, wasn't sexist society. It was something that was introduced or gained great deal of power in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a conjecture.
Honestly, like you tell women that everything's going to be really, really difficult and unpleasant for them, and they're just going to go do something else.
And you know what? And still, I have to get back to this. The reason why there aren't an equal number of women in politics is because women aren't voting them in. Because any woman who runs as a politician has an equal likelihood of being, if not more, likelihood of getting in. Yeah. So women are choosing not to run and women are choosing not to vote. Well, they're not, it's not even the women voters who are the problem. It's women not choosing to run.
Yeah, because like women voters don't preferentially choose female politicians.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you're a woman who wants to be in politics, all you have to do is run.
Yeah, and you've got an equal chance of winning.
So the only reason why there are an equal number of women in politics is because women are not choosing to go in.
Well, but you know, like you constantly hear this rhetoric coming from women who are already in politics that, you know, the whole game of politics needs to be made more women friendly. It needs to be made more flexible. It needs to, you know, consider the women's different needs, right? And the difficulties and challenges and barriers that women face. And so women hear, you know, difficulties and challenges and barriers, and it's not flexible enough, and it doesn't consider women's needs, and it's not women friendly. I guess it's not for me.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Ooh.
Believed that if I would have publicly confronted it, it would have minimized my effectiveness as a legislator. And so I kind of internalized all that and said, I'm going to show him.
Mm-hmm.
I used.
Well, that's good. Just show him.
Yeah, that's fine. Shut up about it and show him. But seriously, do you think that?
Well, I mean, clearly,
I'm just gonna fucking come out with it. Get over it, Buttercup.
Well,
you really think the sexism that you face is comparable to the sexism that men face? Being second-class citizens who are expected to step up and actually sacrifice for the country when you're not?
Yeah, no.
And then you turn around and complain that the fact that you are not expected to sacrifice means that you're seen as lesser politically. Yeah. Well, fucking strap on a goddamn sack on your back, get a fucking rifle in your fucking hands and earn your right to be a senator. Oh, you never did that, did you?
Yeah, well, lots of male senators didn't either, but
the idea is that she's claiming sexism.
Yeah, I know. And well, I mean, but here's the thing too, right? It's like you're obviously when she was in the legislature then, she was suffering some, like remarks from backbenchers or whatever, right? Like kind of like Philip Davies did when he suggested in Parliament that, that maybe we should have a debate about, male suicide and other male issues on International Men's Day. And when he was doing that, like there were, and like the study that, what was it? Were we talking about it? About on the radio show about how uncivil Parliament is and the legislatures are in Canada, and the heckling that goes on. And you'll hear of situations where male politicians, from the other side of the floor, there's comments being made about their penis size and all kinds of shit like that. I mean, like, like it doesn't just happen to women. And, it's usually going to be sexist when people want to upset a woman politician or a woman career person, or particularly a feminist. All they got to do is say something sexist. Why don't you go home and make me a sandwich? Right? Oh, guaranteed to get a rise. And if what you want to do is troll someone, if you want to troll a man, make a comment about he's overcompensating for something. Oh my goodness, that's sexist.
I want to return to a point that I made. When women compete over victimhood, they destroy each other. How do you know that advancing this fucking idea of women totally and utterly being defined by victimhood, as feminism does? There's no scenario in which women are reduced to victims that feminism ever says, oh, wait, that's gone a bit too far.
Yeah.
Never. We can never reduce women down to victims in a way that feminists will say, oh, wait, you're taking it too far. They won't. So in every instance, they'll support every reduction of women down to victimhood. And also, they'll try to socially ostracize anyone who questions it by calling them a misogynist. Yeah. So maybe the reason why we don't have that many women in government is because the women who get into government are so inculcated in this victimhood mentality that they're basically shoving every other woman out the door because they think that they're competition for the center of the king of the queen of the hill of victimhood.
Yeah.
Like if you have this mentality of victimhood, you don't see how you can work together to build a better future.
Do you remember that there was a news story a couple of years ago about a bunch of women from different political parties who were all running for, I don't know, in a state election or a city election for city council in, I don't know, New York or something like that. And they all got together to cooperate because, even though they were from different political parties, they all sort of agreed that, we want to see more women involved in politics, blah, 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 blah. So let's all sort of get together and see how we can help each other out in getting elected. And I think it was their second meeting ended in a cat fight where like one of them pulled a chunk of another woman's hair out and it had to, like, the brawl spilled out onto the fucking sidewalk, right? And they just, it just completely dissolved into violence. It was hilarious reading. I was quite amused.
And the fact that they cannot work together. I mean, as long as you embrace this victimhood mentality, you will always be about 20%, because you need 80% of men to buffer you from other women.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you want that, then you got to be if you want the kind of mentality where 50% of the you don't need that buffer. You get up to a certain number of women in the Senate, and women start pushing each other out because they just can't stand each other that much. If you want to be the kind of woman, then you got to be the kind of woman who doesn't advance this bullshit. You got to be the kind of woman who says, you know what, I want to earn it.
Yeah.
Like it really pisses me off that women got this soft deal when it came to the vote.
Yeah.
And it just bugs the fucking living hell out of me. It's never going to stop bugging me.
All right. Okay.
To this fuel. I'm better at this than you are. I'm going to work harder at this than you do. I'm going to go farther than you. And the Speaker of the House, which I talk about in there, who is the one who told me when I asked him if he could help me get my bill out of committee as a freshman legislator in 1983, he said, "Did you bring your knee pads?" I ended up.
Oh. Oh, is that kind of like when my boyfriend said, what do I got to do to get a fucking job? Do I have to put "will suck your dick" for a job on the top of my resume?
Can I? Oh, mute.
Okay.
Okay. Can I offer Senator McCaskill what I would have said if he had said that? Let's set it up again. He said, "Do you have your knee pads?"
Did you bring your knee pads?
Yeah, and I would have said, "No, I didn't. Can I borrow yours?"
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah.
Are you speaking out of experience, sir?
Yeah, there you go.
Kind.
Yeah.
Like, why? Let's find out how she dealt with it. Because if she didn't deal with it that way, then I'm suggesting that she doesn't have. I think that our assumption that the previous thing that we talked about her wasn't really satire, because she doesn't really have any wit.
Yeah.
In the United States Senate, and he ended up in prison. So the plan is try to go farther.
How did he end up in prison? There's some missing thing in here.
Yeah, well, I suppose we could investigate it, but
I don't feel like it.
She doesn't actually say how she responded.
I'm not sure that was the right way to do it. I think young women today, I hope, have more information and more confidence to do a better job of confronting. And these young people are great.
All right. Once again, pause. I mean, yeah, young women should do a better job of confronting. Why don't you do what I did?
Yeah.
Like I would have. That's what I would have done.
Or I'd say, yeah, I brought my knee pads, but I forgot my magnifying glass.
Yeah, it's banter. I don't know why he ended up in jail. This is a completely separate story, but
maybe he was a complete scumbag. But it's politics. You're gonna have to deal with fucking scumbags.
But the other thing is that this kind of banter, when you banter with people, you're actually feeling out their boundaries, and if they let you, if you move back and forth like that, you're finding out whether or not they're going to put the goal of the organization above their own ego. So that could also be why people banter like that, because they want to test to see where your priorities lie. Are your priorities solely with Senator McCaskill's own feelings, or are you willing to be flexible and actually josh with people and mesh with people on that level,
or even just put somebody in his place in a way that's effective?
Yeah, I mean, you can earn a lot of respect by simply putting people in their place, and in a witty way.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, when somebody burns me real good, kudos to them. Like, they get credit. Yeah.
So, actually, Senator McCaskill, I'm going to judge you.
Yeah.
You are unfunny, and you are if you're incapable of being witty on the fly. Well, some people aren't capable of being witty on the fly. Whatever. I think I judge you less competent as a politician because you need to in places you do need to think quickly as a politician.
Yeah.
So what the fuck are you doing in politics? You know, I've just decided I'm judging you. I'm judging you less capable. The way I would judge a man who did the same thing. You know, if a man had someone snap something like an insult at him or banter at him, and the man immediately said, "My feelings, my feelings." Are you going to trust that guy to negotiate a goddamn demilitarization or negotiate anything with any foreign leader? Are you going to trust that guy? No. So I don't trust you. You failed. You failed, Senator McCaskill. You failed. I don't know who the hell voted for you, but they're idiots.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, why don't you tell us how you really feel? I'm going to move on.
This was a bold thing for this young man to do, and then he was a leader and got others to follow him, and he impacted real change that I think will make a difference for many other students of color at the University of Missouri.
Real change?
Yeah. Well, 2 people got shit canned or resigned or whatever. So that's a real change. I don't know exactly what kind of change, but it's a change.
Well, but it's not even like, what kind of change are they spearheading? I mean, judging from their behavior, they want to be able to act criminally towards people that they consider their outgroup. And they don't want to give press the freedom, like they don't want anybody to see what they're doing. I mean, we could change the West to be more like North Korea, but I don't think I want to laud that kind of change.
Yeah, no.
And what the hell? Like, the guy was punished. Give it up.
Yeah.
Everybody's standing in support against racism. Please give up your fucking narrative.
Yeah.
Just
winning the student union election by a landslide, right? Student council.
Like I said, I can't help but notice that this is like white women once again weaving a threat narrative, or being at the center of one, having the it all acted out by black people and white men, and then appropriating the victimhood of black people. Well, you said, okay, when you create when you do a let them and you fight, white women, when you do that between white men and black men, the black men are going to come out the worse. And then you turn around and you say, oh, look how marginalized black men are. That's
just like women were and are.
Just like me. Yeah. So let's go have another fucking clash.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's appropriating victimhood.
It is. You know, it's just really, really frustrating. And so much of it is, so much of what's frustrating about it is, you know, like when I was talking with Desmond Cole on that panel on the agenda, and I actually had him convinced. I had him convinced that driving while black is actually driving while black and male, that the male is at least as important a factor as the black. And that, you know, and he fully admitted, no, is my mother going to get pulled over? No. Is my sister going to get pulled over? No. But I still think women have it worse than me. And I think he even said women, not just black women, but women have it worse than me. And I've never felt victimized. I've never felt discriminated against because I'm a male. So he comes out and admits that he has been discriminated against because he's male, because it's not driving while black, it's driving while black and male, and he agreed, right? But that he's never felt discriminated against because he's male.
It doesn't matter. Like your role as a man is a one of power. You know, that you don't sort of like, if logic is in opposition with what you think of yourself as a man, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
You were sorry, dude, like, yeah, I apologize that this insults your male ego, but you were discriminated against.
Yeah.
And it just comes down to that.
Well, and it's nobody's going to take away your man card except maybe feminists and progressives and the odd very right wing, conservative. Nobody's going to take away your man card because you actually come out and say, you know what, you're right. Black men in some ways have it more difficult than black women.
Okay, take off the screen share thing so we can.
Okay.
YouTube fans, I'm Luke Russert.
Yeah,
Thanks
that's
for
what I was. Okay.
It's done.
All right.
I just wanted to make sure he wasn't adding some commentary to it.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is sort of inconvenient, but anyway. The thing is that this is all just the same damn shit. Like, and they don't even see it. And I've been beating my head against a bunch of male feminists saying, you say that reducing women down to victims that need to be saved is misogyny. Well, have you ever sort of looked at feminism and said, maybe this is a male power fantasy?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm attracted to this because it makes me feel more powerful than women, and I get to save them. Like maybe this is actually me perpetrating some misogyny here. And they're like, of course they never actually, because I don't know what to make of it. They never seem to actually give a shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's essentially. I think male feminists have been they've internalized so much guilt that they feel a responsibility to stand in solidarity with women, and in order to do that the way men typically have done regarding their women, that means go to war to fight to protect their women. That means stand in front of a cabin with a rifle while the women hide inside. It means you fight the battles on behalf of the women. That's a fundamental part of traditional masculinity. And so I think that, and it really does make them feel powerful. Like the entire narrative of feminism can't help but make an insecure man feel more powerful.
Well, guilt is irrelevant. I don't give a shit how guilty you feel, male feminists. I'm not really appreciating being reduced down to a victim.
Yeah.
In order to, guilt is another way of saying I'm going to take responsibility where I don't necessarily, it's another way, it's sort of a backhanded insult. It's actually a compliment. I'm really the powerful one in the relationship.
Yeah,
Therefore, I'm going to feel guilt. Well, no, you fucking don't get to feel guilt. Fuck off with your guilt. Not if it's at the expense of recognizing that I have any agency as a woman. Go fuck yourself. Anyway, and the other thing is that what I wanted to point out is a lot of the discrimination and the oppression that black men in particular faced was because of white women's threat narratives.
Yeah. Because
of the whole,
white women have been using black women in their threat narratives for the longest time. I think it was Elizabeth Cady Stanton. It was either her or Susan B. Anthony, but I think it was Cady Stanton, said something along the lines of, if black men get the vote before women do, then black women will be subjected to a form of oppression worse than anything they suffered under slavery. Just under their own men.
Holy shit.
Black men would treat their own women worse than white slave owners did.
Oh, God. And all of this bullshit manipulation that you see coming out of feminism, and black women and black men never, I don't want to say they're victims, because I think there are some who recognize this bullshit for what it is. But it seems like
even look at the whole progressive idea of, sort of what was it? It was like Eric Holder, right? And his speech that still hasn't been properly corrected, but after being on the government website for like 5 years or something, 6 years, they finally put a sort of fake correction, right? But what was it that he said? He said the leading cause of death for black women aged 15 to 45 is domestic violence. So in other words, the leading cause of death for black women is black men.
It does start to feel like, progressives really want to continue to target black men, but they want to hide it by saying, well, we're just targeting all men.
Yeah.
We just can't shake that habit.
Well, and it's not like Eric Holder said that the number one cause of death for Black women is Black men's violence. No, he said it's domestic violence, right? So it's partner violence. It's something that all men do, right? It just happens to be, this leading cause of death particularly. And so he frames it as something that happens to Black women without ever actually coming right out and saying, because Black men are violent. They just, he never said it. So that doesn't really exist. It's just implied, but he has plausible deniability that he ever said that. And it is what he said. It is what he said. Black men's brutality and their propensity to beat the women, the people that they love, right? That's the leading cause of death for Black women. And it's never been true. Never been true. And the correction, the fake ass fucking bullshit correction that they put up was essentially, our information was out of date. Right? So in other words, they're leaving people to believe that it was true at one time when it never has been. Right? And it's just changed lately. No, it's never been true. Men have never been the leading cause of death for their own women.
Oh goodness. All right. Shall we say call it a day?
Yeah, I think so. I got a whole bunch of vacuuming to do.
Yeah. And your patriarchal, whatever slave, house slave.
Slaving away. I have dishpan hands.
Oh goodness.
You're soaking.
You're soaking. I'm soaking.
You're soaking in it. Don't you remember that? Oh, you're probably too young.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I didn't realize I was too young.
Oh, Madge, these dishpan hands. Oh, try palm olive. You're soaking in it.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do.
It's soft.
Oh my God! I don't even understand this reference, so I'm just here baffled.
Oh, just search out "You're soaking in it" on YouTube, and you'll probably find it.
Am I soaking in bullshit? Yes, I think so.
I think I am too. So,
okay. So
right.
I just wanted to do a message out to everybody listening. Me and Karen are, of course, rage professionals. So if you are listening to this and getting particularly hot under the collar or incensed, be sure to turn that rage and anger and passion into something productive. I can make some not at all self-interested suggestions. For example, you could become a patron, www.patreon.com/honeybadgerradio. And that rage and passion, you can apply it to your work and know that in a way you are supporting the ending this bullshit. Alternatively, you could print out some Honey Badger flyers and put them up in the legal places in your town or city. And I can tell you from person. Oh, sure. Go ahead, Karen.
No, excellent idea.
Yeah, I can tell you from person that there's something deeply satisfying about printing out some flyers related to an issue that you hold dear and putting them out around in your territory. It's sort of like pissing on your territory and saying, "Hey, I'm going to stand by this." And of course, because the Honey Badger, whatever we are, brand, whatever, is not immediately recognizable, people aren't going to jump on you. They're not going to be like, "You're a fucking asshole," and we kill you. But anyway, that's a thought. Totally not self-interested on my part, and totally not. And finally, if you're artistically inclined, consider creating your version of a Honey Badger. And we're soon going to have a customizable Honey Badger 3D toy that you can get as well. And you could paint in whatever colors and diverse natures that you want. And so those are my thoughts. Sorry?
All the colors of the rainbow.
You can paint with all the colors of the wind on our 3D Honey Badger model thing. And so these are my considerations to you. Don't just bottle up your anger and do nothing with it. Do something. Make sure to do something so that you don't feel alone or isolated in it. Because yes, once again, me and Karen are rage professionals, and we know how to rage properly. But
yeah, my 3 kids taught me how to rage without giving myself an aneurysm.
Okay, so there you go. Those are my parting words. Have a good night, evening, whatever, wherever you are. day.
All right.
But yeah, take off, eh?